learned.
Well, how's this for having both sides of the street covered? On one side, you got Lou Gehrig. On the other side, you got Robinson Cano. I'd say overall you have a pretty good right side of the infield, one of which you'll see today as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the middle game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Paul O'Neill and John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Beautiful day here at the stadium. A nice night last night, except for the outcome for Yankee fans, as the Yankees lost a tough one. They left a lot of people on base, and they fell 5-3 to the Blue Jays. And behind the Blue Jays, again, was the guy that the Yankees are having a hard time stopping. In fact, in his last 8 games, Jose Bautista, a .730 on-base percentage.
Well, it's just not against the Yankees. Last year, 54 home runs. This year, 9 already. Comes into today's game hitting .372. They're pitching around him. He's got 24 walks. Offensively, he is the man for the Toronto Blue Jays.
He has been unbelievable for sure, and the Yankees will try to slow him down today. The guy who has to do that is A.J. Burnett. As we take a look at today's starters, Kyle Drabeck goes for the Blue Jays 2-0, 3.30. A.J. Burnett 3-1 with a 3.52. April's been a good month for A.J. Burnett, John, and today's the last day of April.
Yeah, he's 8-1 in April as a New York Yankee, and obviously this will be his last start in the month of April. Last time out, you could argue this was his best outing of the year. He had a couple of strikeouts with that power curveball. Through 8 innings, only gave up 1 earned run. Unfortunately for him and the Yankees, he took the loss. Had a bunch of ground balls, some good movement, double play his turn. You can tell A.J. Burnett happy with the way his year is going.
Well, A.J. Burnett would like to get some support from Robinson Cano. Boy, has Cano been raking. When we get back on segment 2, we'll break down what he's doing and why he's smiling so much of late. That's next on Yes. Everybody, a couple moments away from the Yankees against the Blue Jays' first pitch of the middle game of this 3-game set. John Flaherty will rejoin us in just a moment. That's Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. There are very few players that other players stop and watch hit. Robinson Cano is one of those guys. And yesterday, you couldn't take your eyes off him, Paul. 2 more home runs.
Well, I mean, he's getting pitches on the inside part of the plate right now. And he's not hitting the long fly ball varieties. He's hitting line drives. You just hope that Robinson Cano doesn't fall in love with that inside pitch where he tries to start hitting home runs, because when he's at his best, he's using left center field, and when he does that, he doesn't have any holes to pitch to, and that's what makes him, in my mind, the best pure hitter in the Yankees lineup today.
And look at the numbers. Pure, unbelievable. 400, 6 for 15 over the last 4 games, 4 home runs, and 7 runs batted in. Just a beautiful day, right? Just a gorgeous day, Mark. Yep, see, he agrees. That's how great it's been. You can have a lot of offense today, in all probability. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next right here on Yes. Yes, this is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. And by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. That ball's about to be picked up by A.J. Burnett in 3, 2, 1. There he goes. So we're almost ready for baseball. He will begin his warm-ups. And why don't we take a look at today's Blue Jays starting lineup, which is presented by Bank of America. The Blue Jays come into this game at 13-13. John Farrell, their manager, leads off. Their center fielder, Rajay Davis. Yunel Escobar, the shortstop, bats second. Batting third and playing right field, Jose Bautista. Adam Lynn, the first baseman, cleans up. Batting fifth and playing left field, Juan Rivera. The rookie David Cooper will DH. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh and playing third base, Edwin Encarnacion. Jose Molina will catch. He'll hit eighth. And batting ninth and playing second base, Mike McCoy.
Well, that Blue Jay lineup going to go to work against A.J. Burnett. Will make his sixth start of the year for the Yankees. He's gotten off to a nice start. As you see the numbers, 3-1 in ERA, 3.5, 26 hits and 30 2/3 innings. And we'll take a look at our Jeep pitcher scouting report on A.J. Burnett. You can argue he had his best start of the year his last time out. 8 innings against the White Sox, only gave up 1 earned run, 3 hits. This will be his last start in April. He's done a nice job in April as a New York Yankee, 8-1 in his Yankee career. And that fastball pretty straight through the zone, which a lot of times is bad news for a pitcher, but pretty good for A.J. He has not hit a batter this year, and he led the major leagues last year with 19 batters hit.
Let's take a look at the Yankee defense behind A.J. It's brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, you've got Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher left to right. In the infield, it's Chavez as A-Rod gets a day off. Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira third to first. Russell Martin behind the plate. And A.J. Burnett. Alan James Burnett is on the mound. Today's closed captioning brought to you by Verizon Wireless. So Rajay Davis, you want to keep him off the bases because he can run, he can wreak havoc. It's best to just retire him and have him sit in the dugout. So he digs in. A.J. Burnett is ready on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in New York City. And let's do it. The first pitch is a fastball strike. We're underway.
Oh, Flash, I see it. If it's in the vicinity, it's strike one, I assume.
Wally Bell, the home plate umpire. Oh, strike. We told you about Wally Bell behind the plate. The first base ump is Laz Diaz. Second base ump, Scott Barry. And the third base ump is the crew chief, John Hirschbeck. Now, Davis spent a lot of the month of April on the DL. He's been on base just 7 times this year, but he has scored 5 of those times.
He had a lot to do with the offense yesterday. I mean, the pitchers, the game really slowed down. Pitchers taking their time. Cano out of position a couple times, trying to hold him on second base. Guys like this really, really put a lot of pressure on the defense.
A 1-2. Line right to Granderson. It's over his head, though. It took off. And it will go to the wall. Rajay Davis is at second. He's going for third. The throw from Cano is not in time. It's a triple for Davis.
Well, we haven't heard it much said, but he hit the ball hard, but I don't know about the glare here. I've never played the outfield here, but you see Granderson does the one thing you can't do as an outfielder is turn your back on the baseball. You can't turn one way or the other. You're just stuck. And he froze right there. Ball took off on him, ends up with a triple.
I'll tell you what, right here, I mean, Curtis Granderson had the ball coming in before Davis even got to second base. And again, aggressive on the base paths. We talked about it last night with the Blue Jays. The leadoff triple.
You know, it's funny, I was watching him run the bases, and you watch guys run the bases, and as they're getting to second base, they make their decision on where the ball is. Davis never even looked up. If the ball's over an outfielder's head, it's a triple for him, and that's just, you know, that shows what kind of speed he has.
Pitch to Escobar, a strike. So the Yankees play the infield back at short and second. They're in about even with the bag at third and first. Nice block there by Russell Martin.
Well, we talked last night, Russell Martin, the ability to block baseballs in the dirt, and A.J. Burnett, when he has that good power curve, will make you work behind the plate. It's a fantastic job of the glove leading, the body follows, saves a run.
1-1. Tap slowly back to the mound. He thought about coming home, but Davis too quick. So Davis will score the out made at first. An RBI by Escobar, and the Blue Jays are on the board 1-0. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 62 degrees, 40% humidity, wind 9 miles per hour. It's sunny and cool.
Well, Bigelow got their money's worth today. Beautiful day. You know, A.J. Burnett looking around like, hey, did I make the right play? You know, you made the right play. I mean, you've got to get an out. Don't give up a run. You're not going to get Davis. He's too quick. Give up that run. Get back to pitching.
You have the pitch against Jose Bautista, and he wraps another one to deep left field, but this one's in the park as Gardner puts away for the second. Now, anytime you retire him, even if it's loud, you'll take it.
Well, you're so accustomed to seeing anything he hits hard going over the fence, but must have got this ball on the end of the bat. Looks like he was right on it, and you'll see his swing. I mean, it's like he's picking up the ball so quick, it gives him an opportunity to take a huge cut. You see everything into the ball just off the end of the bat. If he catches that ball in the barrel, it's another home run.
Here's Adam Lynn, 5 straight for Lynn. 8 hits in his last 21 at bats, and there's a strike. He is going to get a lot of RBI opportunities batting behind Bautista because Bautista walks so much. There'll be people on base. But he also has to provide protection for Bautista where they're not so inclined to walk him because Lynn will make them pay. Let's take a look at the Home Depot hitter scouting report on Adam Lynn.
Oh, he's getting hot. He just came from Texas. He had 3 home runs in 3 consecutive days. They're trying and hoping to get him back to the 09 form where he hit 35 home runs and drove in over 100 runs. And protecting Bautista, I mean, we've talked about that. I mean, the league knows, it's no secret anymore. The league knows what that guy can do, and hitting behind him, very important for the Blue Jays' success.
Think about the Blue Jays offensively now. I mean, it's not just the power in the middle of the lineup. It's all the speed we talked about last night, the ability to manufacture runs. And if Lynn can get back to those 35 homers, he'll be dangerous.
You mentioned Roger Davis being on the DL most of the year, and it's just, it's a different lineup.
Yeah,
when you've got a guy with a speedster, you know, leading off, it sets up the inning for the middle lineup, and it just, I'm sure as a catcher, it drives you crazy knowing if he's on. Seems to be stealing bases on it.
Swing and a miss. So Lynn goes down on strikes. Tough break for Burnett. Essentially got a fly ball to Granderson, who misplayed it. That triple turned into a run. Blue Jays won, and the Yankees coming to bat. Yankees starting lineup that will try to make up that deficit against Kyle Drabek, and the Yankees starting lineup is presented by Lexus. Yankees coming at 14-9. They lead off the captain, the shortstop Derek Jeter. Curtis Granderson in center field will bat second. Batting third and playing first base, Mark Teixeira. Robinson Cano at second will clean up. Batting fifth, playing right field, Nick Swisher. Eric Chavez, the third baseman, hit sixth. The number 7 hitter, the DH, Jorge Posada. Russell Martin will catch. He'll hit eighth. And batting ninth and playing left field, Brett Gardner.
New York Yankee lineup. Going to get a look at the young right-hander Kyle Drabek, who's gotten off to a nice start this year. Came over to the Blue Jays last year and got a cup of coffee now. 2-0, 3.30 ERA, 21 strikeouts in 30 innings. Take a look at our Jeep pitcher scouting report on Drabek. Everybody says he's a total package. 4 quality pitches, a hard thrower, and he has the mindset to be a big-time winner. And he was the key to the deal in the Roy Halladay trade. The Blue Jays needed him to do that trade, and they did it. They're very happy they got him. And a veteran presence behind the mound, or behind the plate, I'm sorry. Jose Molina catches Drabek every time he pitches, trying to mold him into a big-time Major League winner.
And Kyle, of course, the son of former big leaguer Doug Drabek. Derek Jeter digs in. He is ready, and Drabek deals. 1-0.
So, Michael, you mentioned Doug Drabek, and I was talking to some people around the Blue Jays today, and they said he's a totally different pitcher than his old man was. And, Paul, I don't know if you faced him, but
many times.
They say this kid is a hard thrower, a power pitcher, and his dad maybe not as much.
That one is tapped right back to the mound, backhanded by Drabek, and he gets Jeter.
Yeah, his father was with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and when I was with Cincinnati Reds, we played him through the playoffs. And you know, he was a control pitcher, had a good curveball, but nothing they was going to throw by him. But you know, at that time, he was their number one pitcher.
You did okay against him. 13 for 45, and in the NLCS game 2 in '90, when the Reds won the World Series, 2 for 4, double 2 ribbies, and you were 1 for 4 in game 5. Game 2, the Reds won 2-1. Little hometown hero action there for you.
That was nice.
Now you see Drabek wears number 4. Very odd to see a pitcher with a single-digit number. So I did some investigating, and it's really not too exotic. He wore number 4 in high school as a baseball player, and number 8 as a football player. And 4 is his favorite number. When he got called up here, he asked if he could get 4, and they said absolutely, and that's why he wears it.
Play hoops, wear number 12.
I guess you add it together.
Grew up in Texas, right?
Hit sharply, foul. I think so. Let me check.
I know that's where his dad was. He had to live with him, right?
Sometimes you never know.
Or Jack Curry says he did grow up in Texas.
The Woodlands, Texas. His birth city was Victoria, Texas.
Well, you talk about his stuff, and they say it's a hard fastball, 94, 95. We'll throw a little cutter, a power curveball, and a good changeup. Good cutter there.
Cutter there, 91 miles an hour, and that's the ball that just ties up left-handed hitters. Very important for a righty to have it. You see just a little off center, you get a little spin where that ball just continues to go in. Nothing new for Yankee fans. You've been seeing Mariano throw that cutter for the last 10, 12 years.
Here's Teixeira.
Had one of those nights last night where, you know, if he hit the ball hard, it got caught. He about took Romero off the mound, and then if you got jammed, they made a great play. Shortstop made a great play over his head. Just one of those nights that no matter what you did at the plate, it wasn't going to work out for you.
That one's drilled deep to center field. Davis back, still back, on the track, and it's going to be off the base of the wall. Teixeira gets himself a double.
We were kind of wondering early in the game about Granderson, how he saw the ball, and you'll see, Davis, this ball was lost in the sun. I mean, he's quick enough to get back to the wall and find it. This time of the year, sun might be low enough. I mean, you see, it just a bad feeling right there. You just cannot see the baseball, can't see it. Plays it off the wall, keeps Teixeira at second base, but a helpless feeling as an outfielder. Everybody thinks, you'll just wait, it'll come out. Sometimes it doesn't. It's not like you have, you know, a minute or something for that ball to come out of the sun. It happens so quick.
So now you have Robinson Cano as the cleanup hitter as Alex Rodriguez has the day off. Cano with 2 home runs yesterday. 8 home runs and 21 runs batted in.
This will be interesting to see. Everybody knows around the league now how Robbie Cano is swinging the bat. You've got a base open. This is going to be the time where you start seeing people pitch around him. And Draybeck might have that mentality, hey, I got good enough stuff to get anybody out.
Well, that's the first thing I thought of when you ask everybody around the Blue Jays. They said this kid is a competitor. He's not going to back down from anybody. And you see the numbers cleaning up last year for Robinson Cano. And you're right, Paul. First pitch right down the middle. Here you go. Let's play ball. How about the shadows, Paul?
Hated him.
You know, Robinson Cano is probably sitting there on deck saying, man, I want to hit in the first inning, so it'll be a little easier. His second at bat will be a little tougher.
Cano, the only second baseman in the last 50 years.
See the shadows here. Now, once they get about halfway, that's where you get trouble as a hitter, because the ball will go out of that sunshine and kind of disappear into the shadows, and your eyes just cannot adjust that quick.
You don't even listen to me, do you?
What?
I'm telling a story. You start drawing stuff on the telestrator.
I got something important to say. We're not talking about a story right here. What were you talking about?
I was saying he's the only second baseman in the last 50 years to have 8 home runs or more in 2 successive seasons in April.
Now,
and you're going like this.
Flash. Is that as important as we're talking about the game and the shadows?
The at bat, the first at bat is huge. The shadows.
Michael, if we need you, we'll let you know. All right.
The 1-2 swung on and missed.
Tough
so
pitch.
They get Cano. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We've played 1, Blue Jays 1, and the Yankees nothing. Position produces the best managers. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here are your choices. Is it 1 catcher, 2 infielder, 3 outfielder, and 4 pitcher? It seems to be that catchers, at least lately, make the best managers.
It seems to be. I mean, I don't even think this is.
I don't know why it's just a given that catchers make the best manager, and that that's the way it is. But why is it a given that catchers make the best manager?
Well, just think about it. You're out in the outfield working on your swing. Catchers are actually thinking about a staff, fielding, you know, where the fielders are positioned.
It's all about channeling things. You know, you've got too many things going on in your mind where I can channel on one thing when I'm worried about this. And as a manager, I guess I don't even want to go there. I guess as a manager, you need to get outside that one little area.
And one of the reasons we ask that question is that it seems as if pitchers and pitching coaches don't make good managers. I mean, Tommy Lasorda, obviously a Hall of Fame manager, but you see a lot of pitching coaches that become managers and they're not successful. But a guy like Bud Black has been successful. Yep. He was a pitching coach and obviously a pitcher before that. And now John Farrell's trying to make that same transition. Roger Craig was a good pitching coach. He became a very good manager.
Another catcher, Buck Martinez. Some TV work for the Blue Jays.
You're looking back. I mean, minor leagues through the major leagues, who do you consider your best manager, tactician-wise, who you played for?
Grounded up the middle and past Jeter into center field, a base hit for Rivera.
Wow, and you know, you played for so many. I mean, it's different. Playing for Sparky Anderson was different than playing for Joe Torre, obviously. Bruce Bochy in San Diego was, you know, another catcher turned manager. Won a World Series last year with the Giants. Enjoyed playing for him. Well, you have some stories, Lou Piniella.
Yeah, I mean, I played for outfielders. I played. Pete Rose was a second baseman, first base. Joe Torre, best people skills, no doubt in my mind. Tactician-wise, as far as probably Buck Showalter. So a lot of, you're right, a lot of different angles that managers can be successful.
Popped up by David Cooper, and fighting the sun was Cano. He puts it away for the first out.
You know, last night, David Cooper, we talked about his first major league game. And, you know, we showed his mother, his girlfriend, his sister. How do we know these things? I mean, it's like a seating chart. How do you figure out where these people are? Again,
Here we go.
Our director, John Moore, actually has people asking everybody in the stands, are you his mother? And then he narrows it down.
Well, it works because those are the same people. I mean, those are the real people. It's not like we're just throwing three people out there.
Here's Edwin Encarnacion.
Still waiting for his first hit, by the way.
Yes, they are. He had a walk yesterday. IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. 1-0 Blue Jays. The 1-0. Foul back.
Flash, you see the difference here. You saw it. I mean, you see the cut there, how he fouls that ball back. Now, when you see Bautista take that swing, he either hits it out of the park or puts it on the line. It's just not. Guys don't swing that hard and put it in play like Bautista does time and time again.
1-1. Soft roller to third. Could be a very tough play. Chavez has to eat it, and a base hit for Encarnacion.
Well, I'm thinking here 4 outs into this game for AJ, and it looks like he has good stuff, but is it going to be one of those days? I mean, a fly ball to center field turns into a triple there. A little half swing is an infield base hit on a good curveball. That's just a swing and bunt and a thing of beauty. Chavez comes in, smart play, doesn't have a play.
Molina takes outside.
I always thought it was weird when you face guys that you played with. Even more so, I'm looking in your case as a catcher, a guy that you know the way they set up hitters. You know exactly what they want to do. Next year, you're facing him as a hitter.
What do they say? See the ball and hit the ball. You can't do that if you're Jose Molina, because automatically you're thinking, what would I call if AJ was pitching here in this count, this situation? Good numbers early on. Getting off to a nice start. Jose Molina swinging the bat. That was always the toughest part. Trying to clear your head and just try to see the ball and hit it against a guy that you've caught before.
The 1-1. 1-2. Now, Molina has to be the type of backup catcher that you can't use him all the time, because if you use him all the time, he's going to end up wearing down, and he's not going to hit very well. You got to be able to use him maybe once, at the most twice a week. And one of the reasons the Yankees didn't retain him was that Posada, getting older, needed more days off, and they felt that Jose Molina would not be able to handle that workload as he swings and misses for the second out.
Obviously I'm a little biased being an ex-catcher, but I mean, he's such a valuable guy to have on a staff working with a young pitcher. And you see the power curveball here. Tough pitch to hit on any day or night, and even with the shadows creeping in, a little bit tougher to pick up the rotation.
Here's the number 9 batter, Mike McCoy. McCoy 2 hits in his last 13 at bats, playing second base today. And it does seem as if AJ has very good stuff. Opponents this year 0 for 11 against AJ with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
That just seems like another stat, but that's such a huge stat. If you can keep them off the board when you have an opportunity to get out of an inning with two outs. Looking back, Jimmy Key was unbelievable at getting that final out. Andy Pettit always seemed to have the knack to get that last out to save runs, and that's how you win games as a pitcher.
AJ tried to reach back for a little something extra there in that fastball. Remember back to last year when he started to overthrow, the ball would come back to the middle of the plate, and now early on when he even overthrows that fastball, it stays true on the outside. Doesn't make a mistake with it.
Runners go. We told you about this yesterday. They will run at any time and any count with however many outs there are, and that's what Farrell wants to do to teams. Just keep them off balance and not be able to guess.
One thing, as a base runner, if you can see, I mean, you see the jump there. I mean, Rivera had an unbelievable jump, but if you can get in a curveball count, especially as sharp as Burnett's curveball is, I mean, you can steal some bases because it's just so hard as a catcher to either block that ball or pick it and come out throwing.
2-2. Swing and a miss. AJ strikes out McCoy, and that'll do it. So the double steal doesn't affect them. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Blue Jays. One nothing Blue Jays over the Yankees. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays defense behind Kyle Drabek. Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Rivera, Davis, and Bautista. Left to right in the outfield. And in the infield, Encarnacion, Escobar, McCoy, and Lind. That's third to first. Veteran Molina behind the plate, and Drabek is on the mound. There's Nick Swisher, 3 hits in his last 16 at-bats. Strike. Drabek 94-95, good live fastball. Count 1-1.
You see the movement of that fastball too. Seldom do you see guys, hard throwers, get that much movement on their fastball, and that's what makes it difficult for the hitter.
watch young pitchers, you're looking at their stuff, velocity, movement, you know, off-speed pitches, but also their mannerisms on the mound.
That one's looped into left field. It's going to be base hit in front of Rivera. So Nick Swisher picks up a leadoff single.
Probably a little movement on that fastball led to a base hit off the end of the bat for Nick Swisher. They talk about the mannerisms on the mound for Drabek. Seems like he's in control and a pretty good rhythm. Yeah, a good sinking fastball down and away. Nick will take it.
See Nick Swisher lately starting to come around, but if you watch that last swing, it's just that front hip is starting to leak a little bit, which opens you up, cause you to hit that ball in the end of the bat. Last year when he was real calm, it seemed like everything was at the pitcher. Real close to where he was, but you can tell that there's just a little leak on this left hip, kind of opening up towards the dugout. Doesn't allow you to really drive through the ball. You're kind of coming off the ball as you stride.
Count 3-0 to Chavez. There's a resume on Cal Drabek. I told you about Doug Drabek being his dad. 18th overall pick in the first round for the Phillies. And he was acquired in the Roy Halladay trade. Last year, the Eastern League. That's Double-A Pitcher of the Year.
Like any young pitcher, you know, they say when he gets in a little bit of trouble, he tries to overthrow a little bit, power his way through it. And that's what Jose Molina is behind the plate for, to make him relax a little bit.
There's a strike.
Find a way to take a little bit off and maybe use the hitter's aggressiveness to get himself out.
Chavez, who has gotten off to such a good start, starting to slow down a little bit. One hit in his last 12 at bats. Playing third base today, batting in the number 6 hole, the 3-1. And Chavez works a walk. So Drabek is now working himself into trouble. First and second, nobody out. Chavez, one of only 3 Yankees with more walks than strikeouts. Jeter and Alex Rodriguez are the others.
Well, Michael, you said he got off to a great start. It's a great problem to have for the Yankees, but you know, A-Rod's going to play 150 games, and Teshiro's going to play 155 games if healthy. How are you going to get, I mean, if he continues to hit, how are you going to get this guy, you know, a couple hundred at bats?
Right here, if Jorge doesn't hit.
Yeah.
Right now, Jorge's struggling. 1 hit in his last 25 at bats. There's a strike.
Talking to Kevin Long about Jorge yesterday, he said he's just not letting the ball travel. You know, the off-speed pitches, he wants to go out there and get it before home plate. To look at Kevin, he was actually happy with his last 4 at bats. He didn't have anything to show for it, but he let the ball get deeper into the strike zone. He feels like good things are coming.
You're going through tough times, and if you hear your batting instructor, your batting coach say, "I'm really happy the way you're swinging out," you're not getting anything for it. You close your ears. You don't want to hear it. You need some hits to build your confidence. But the hitting coach can usually see the baby steps much easier than the player. You talked about it, Flash, a lot of off-speed stuff. I talked to Jorge yesterday, and he said, you know, he's seen a ton of breaking balls this year. And when you start lunging toward the baseball, you know, you start swinging out of sync. You're swinging the balls out of the zone. And, you know, you can get by with that sometimes against the fastball, but not the off-speed pitches.
Dribbled slowly to second. This could be 2. There's 1, and that's all they get. Chavez went in hard and clean at second, and Escobar could not get off the throw to first.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Chavez, because this is pretty much a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play. Good clean slide, gets a little piece of Escobar coming across the bag, and he has trouble with the transfer as well, which helps out.
See, Escobar got caught on the wrong side of the bag, where he couldn't really get out of the way from Chavez. Cost him a double play.
Here's Russell Martin. Russell, 3 hits in his last 18 at bats, still hitting .292. 6 homers, 18 ribbies, solid work behind the plate. Line drive and base hit to center. The game is tied. Swisher scores. Posada moves to second. Russell Martin with his 19th ribby. We have a 1-1 game.
I was just thinking back to last night's game. The left-hander Ricky Romero for the Blue Jays was getting a lot of bad swings, and then all of a sudden Russell Martin comes up and he hits a double to left center field. Same situation this afternoon. A first pitch fastball. Martin not waiting around, just drills it right back up the middle. Base hit and RBI. Yankees tie the game. Seems like he's swinging the bat, but getting those big hits, at the right times.
Love to see guys stay up the middle, out towards the gaps, especially with men in scoring position. You can score a lot of runs by just driving the ball up the middle, not worrying about home runs.
Count 1-0. And another meeting with Molina.
Well, you can hear Drabek a little bit. He gets frustrated with himself and kind of shouts and gets mad at himself. And that's when Molina seems to come out and give him a little time, get it out of your system. Damage is already done. Let's go to work on Brett Gardner here and see if we can get it out.
You talked about Pat Hinken yesterday, still with the organization, and as I remember facing him, he did that so much. He'd scream if he threw a ball and this and that. Very frustrated, but a lot of pitchers hold that in on the mound where, it looks like Drabek's kind of the same mentality.
Yeah.
Pat Hinken won the Cy Young over there. He was very successful.
Strike. So 19 ribbies for Russell Martin. Didn't get his 19th ribby last year until his 75th game with the Dodgers. Strike.
Wally Bell behind the plate. Brett Gardner doesn't look like he was real happy with that call. Little sinker off the plate. Drabek gets a strike call.
One, 2. 2-2. Middle game of a 3-game set. Beautiful Saturday afternoon in New York City. Nice crowd on hand here at the stadium. Yankees trying to even series at a game apiece. Pitch inside. Derek Jeter's on deck. Gone to a full count on 20% of the batters he's faced this season. That's the second highest rate in the AL. Not bad company, though. John Lester at 22%. And he walks Gardner. Gardner 4 for his last 10, also seeing pitches better and walking more, so maybe he's starting to come out of it. And Bruce Walton, the pitching coach, will come out and talk with Drabek and give us time to remind you that you can take the Yankees with you when you travel out of the Yankees home territory. How? Well, you subscribe to MLB.tv today to see Yankees game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere.
Flash, looking at that full count percentage we just had on it, and you look at a lot of pitchers, and I'm just wondering, your thought on this. I look back at Mike Mussina, strike 1, strike 2, then all of a sudden they get into a different mode of trying to throw that perfect pitch all the way back to 3-2, and he has great stuff, Drake.
Yep.
You can get ahead in the count, then all of a sudden, does he try to throw that perfect pitch?
Yeah, I think it's obviously two different guys. Mussina, a veteran guy who would like to get you to swing at a pitch off the plate, and Drabek maybe doesn't believe his stuff is as good as it is and tries to be a little bit too fine. Once a young kid with an arm like this figures it out, it's probably going to be a pretty nice career.
Here's Jeter, struck out with the bases loaded yesterday, and this pitch is low. He was a little late on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs yesterday. That was 92, and Drabek has little hair on the fastball today at 95, so Jeter's up in the count 1-0. He tapped back to the mound in the first inning. Derek hitting .256. A strike.
You got to believe that's the pitch they're going to attack Derek Jeter with, that good running fastball inside. He's got good velocity and good movement, possibility of getting a ground ball double play. See if Derek can look for it, maybe take care of it.
Popped up, and that'll be out of play. After the game, a lot of people failed for the Yankees yesterday. They left a lot of runners on base. They were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. 11 runners left on base. But the story, of course, is Derek coming off a .270 season, and the media around them doing their job and trying to get him to be, somewhat introspective. And Derek said, hey, I want to be up there in those situations, and it didn't work out. I wanted to work out, but I want to be up there. I think I can do it.
Well, you can make the argument he can't handle the fastball up in the zone, but not too many players can when you expand and swing at a pitch up.
Count 2-2.
And it does become frustrating as a player to every day hear about your age and you're slowing down, and you start getting it in the back of your mind, and you're trying to prove people wrong instead of just going out and playing. And Derek Jeter right now is not swinging at his best, but to say that he can't hit this pitch or that pitch in April, it's very hard to put on a player.
Well, some of the conjecture in the paper today is that Derek's bat is a little slow early, so he's starting it sooner, and that's why he's chasing pitches out of the zone, because he doesn't have time to identify where it is, and that's why he struck out on a pitch that was borderline high yesterday with the bases loaded. Again, everybody has a theory, but Derek says he feels comfortable with the play. 3-2. That one is looped into center field. Davis will make the catch. Tagging is Posada. He'll score. So the sac fly for Jeter, and the Yankees take a 2-1 lead.
Again, as a hitter, man on third base, your first priority, get this guy in, get a ball up in the zone, kind of fight it off. You see that Derek did that. And right here, the big thing that center field is a tough sun field right here. And, this is going to be a fastball in. Derek doesn't turn on it, stays inside. So he gets jammed a little bit, but deep enough. But Davis can't stay back on the ball and get a running start to home plate because you're having so much trouble out there with the sun.
Here's Granderson. He fouls it back.
The old ballpark, the sun field was left field. Michael, you remember last year, this time of the year, the center field being in trouble?
No, I thought, it's geographically, it's laid out the same way. Left field should still be the problem. The 0-1. It's just a block over, but laid out the same way. Also a rare 4 o'clock start.
Yeah.
Lined into left field, it is a base hit. Russell Martin rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw, not in time. Granderson with an RBI single, and the Yankees up 3-1.
Well, we've been doing all this talk about the shadows, and it's probably going to be tough to pick up pitches. And Curtis Granderson had a pretty good at bat, fouling off some fastballs, and then he gets a curveball down and away. Nice piece of hitting going the other way. And Paul, you mentioned that those 2-out hits that are valuable. Big hit by Curtis Granderson, giving the Yankees another run here. Nice at bat. Nice job of hitting the other way.
Some at bats you just see the pitcher blatantly make a mistake, and you center the ball, you drive it, and then you really appreciate at bats like that. That wasn't really a bad pitch. Had, a movement away, down and away. Granderson just put a really good swing on it. With men in scoring position, you drive in and run.
There's a strike.
You see, as a left-handed hitter, and with Draybeck, he's shown the cutter in, but that ball kind of sinking away. Granderson stays with it, doesn't try to pull it, lines it to left field. You can see now, watch this ball. It starts out bright, turns dark. That's what the hitters are seeing now, and it's really hard for your eyes to adjust that quick.
That foul ball was headed right toward Jack Curry. Encarnacion could not get there. Jack in the third base camera. Well, we'll talk to him in the top of the third. Hi, Jack. How you doing?
Didn't get to it either.
The 1-2. 2-2.
You see Jose Molina behind the plate wearing some sunglasses. That's the deal with the shadows that you're seeing right there. A good look at it.
Strike 3, and Teixeira down looking. But the Yankees take the lead. They score 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 2 men left on base. Paints the outside corner for the final out. We'll go to the third. Scoreboard, Yankees lead 3-1. A 35-pitch inning for Kyle Drabek. So as we go to the top of the third, we also go back downstairs to Jack Curry. And Jack, we were talking before about really an overabundance of breaking balls that the Yankees have been seeing from opposing teams. And I know you spoke to the Yankee hitting coach, Kevin Long. Does Kevin agree with that?
He does agree with it, Michael. And the game that he cited was earlier this week, Tuesday. Gavin Floyd, who's a fastball pitcher. This is a guy who can throw 92 to 94. And in his start against the Yankees, 31 of his last 32 pitches were breaking balls. And to Kevin, that was obviously an indicator that this was a guy who thought he had a better chance of getting the Yankees out with breaking pitches than fastballs. Kevin said he relates that to earlier this season. Yankees are hitting a lot of home runs on fastballs, and teams are going to try and pitch them a little differently and not let hitters know that a fastball is coming, maybe try and mix it up a little more.
Now, Paul, let me ask you, if there's such a predisposition for the other team to throw breaking balls, can you sit on a breaking ball? I know that Tino was a guy who guessed. If you know that there's a lot of breaking balls coming your way, can that throw you out of whack, or you can take advantage of it?
I think it'd be in the back of your mind. I think that as a hitter, you go up there looking fastball anyway, but there are scouting reports, and it's very interesting that if you are...
That one's popped up to right. Nick Swisher had a hard time picking it up, and he does.
You know, the scouts, they send in reports from the series before. If you have a tough time the series before with a pitch inside, let it be known you're going to see that the next series. Or if you're not swinging the ball, the bat well at breaking balls for the next couple series, you can usually expect to see that. That's what scouts and pre-scouting teams do.
Now, the game is a game of adjustments, John. So if you're a catcher and you know that this team's been getting out on breaking balls a lot, as a catcher, would you call fastballs because you think they're thinking about breaking balls?
Well, I would
I would tailor it to my specific pitcher. Like, are you going to ask AJ to go out there and throw breaking ball after breaking ball when he's got a good fastball that afternoon? I mean, it really depends on what you have to work with. If you're Russell Martin or Jose Molina today, obviously every hitter is going to have certain weaknesses that you try to exploit.
Jack, is Kevin Long concerned about this?
No, he's not concerned, and he mentioned several Yankees, Cano, A-Rod, Teixeira. He said they're all good breaking ball hitters, and what he also likes, Michael, is he said the Yankees, he believes, better than any team in baseball, have the ability to stay back on the ball. He said some teams hit off their front foot. He teaches his guys to stay back for as long as they can, so he doesn't consider it a big issue. He said he wants it to be something that his hitters have in their mind. Just be aware that this may be the way that teams are going. And John is right about Molina, by the way. Molina told me before the game, rather than fastball, breaking ball, he said, I'm worried about location. Where's my pitcher putting the ball?
Now, one guy you mentioned that Kevin said, I have guys that stay back on their back leg. One of those guys is Cano. And John Farrell, the Blue Jay manager, told you that he considers it a nightmare trying to get Cano out.
He said it's been a nightmare for a while, even when he was with the Red Sox.
There's a base hit off the bat of Yunel Escobar.
And John said, Michael, that it continues to be a nightmare. And the thing that he praised Cano for is having the ability now. He's improved so much as a hitter that he can now pick the pitch that he's going to try and drive out of the ballpark. He said his pull ability has improved over the years, and he said that's what makes him so much tougher. He said we can't dare throw the same pitch in the strike zone twice to this guy, or else we're going to pay for it.
Now, Jack, I know you're talking to a lot of people around the league, and the people that I talk to, you're getting the sense that now Cano is considered in the top 5 of all the hitters in the American League. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I think that you look at the guy that's up right now for the Jays, the way the Yankees are looking at him right now, I think other teams look at Robinson Cano in that way. And Flaherty wouldn't go that far. I'm sorry, Farrell wouldn't go that far. When he was asked, is he the guy that you try and stop the most in the Yankee lineup? He said, listen, they have a lot of guys in that order. He didn't want to come out and say Cano was the one guy. But I do believe, Michael, that you're right, that he is the guy when teams have scouting meetings, they say, we can't let Cano be the one who beats us.
Let's ask Flaherty. Flaherty, would you go that far? Would you say, in fact, that you can't let Cano beat you in the Yankee lineup?
You know, listening to what John Farrell was telling Jack, it reminded me of Edgar Martinez, that you cannot pitch him, Robinson Cano, the same way every time. And last night they tried to throw a few fastballs in there. He made him pay. You have to change at bat to at bat, change your patterns. Don't let him figure anything out or he's going to wear you out.
Now, we also mentioned earlier that Jose Molina behind the plate for everyone in Draybeck starts. They want him to be the tutor or the mentor for Draybeck. And how's that working out for Molina?
Molina loves it. He said he likes to have a pitcher-catcher relationship, and John will appreciate this. He said where there's trust and confidence. He said, I want them to know when I put down a finger that I believe in it, and I believe that they can throw the pitch to that area, and I want them to have the confidence in throwing that pitch. And he also, guys, by the way, everyone knows he was a Yankee here a couple of years ago. So I had to ask him, he was here when the Yankees won the World Series, if he brought his World Series ring with him today. And he said yes. And he pointed to his locker. He said it's right in there today. So he's still proud and happy to have that ring. He has 2, actually, because he has one with the Angels as well.
Now, final thing, Jack, that foul ball was right near you. Did you go for it or did you shy away?
The foul ball that Bautista just hit, or the foul ball that almost hit your wife half an inning ago?
The one that almost hit my wife.
I like that.
Right.
It did. It came closer to Jody than it did to me.
Wow, Jody has good seats, huh?
She does. And no, I didn't go for it. I decided to stay in the box. I was preparing for this report, Michael.
There's Jody. All right. Well, tell Jody I said hi, and we'll talk to you a little bit later on.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thanks. Here's the 1-2 to Bautista, and he lines that the other way, giving Chase his swisher. He can't get there. Bautista usually doesn't go that route. The throw comes into the first baseman, Teixeira. It's a double for Bautista, and the Blue Jays have runners on second and third with 1 out.
Well, we saw it last night, the spreadsheet, right, on Bautista. Yeah. He pulls everything, and he just beat the shift right there, going the other way.
You know, I think you're waiting so long right there. That ball is away. There's not much to do with it to pull it. But I tell you what, he's really something.
Take a look at the Coors Light cold freeze can.
Not just a true home run hitter. He's a great hitter right now, hitting close to 380 right now and just doing everything he can offensively.
You know, Paul, I want to ask you, because you had kind of a big leg kick, and there was such a big deal last year that Batista got ready earlier when he was in the box to hit, gave him more time to recognize pitches. I mean, it can't be that simple, can it?
Well, you know, it changed the way I hit, and it looks like he's doing great things with it. All it does is you do start earlier, but it keeps you back, and it allows you to see the ball longer. But you can see when he gets the ball in the strike zone, the sacrifice fly here, I mean, he just unloads on him. He's not holding anything back.
So Adam Lynn hits a sac fly to Gardner. As Yunel Escobar scores, it's now 3-2 Yankees.
From the side, and they talked about this front foot getting down a little bit earlier, giving him more time to recognize.
Now, there was a story in the Times today. I believe Tyler Kepner wrote it about Bautista, and when Bautista wasn't hitting home runs, he hit everything to right field, and everybody thought, wow, what an intelligent hitter. But then they found out he wasn't hitting because he was intelligent. He was just late on the swing.
Yeah.
But he's corrected that. And now he goes to third. He's not late there. He steals third base.
This has got to annoy you if you're catching Flash, because, I mean, these bases are stolen on A.J. Burnett. I mean, Russell Martin has absolutely, I mean, that's a walking lead right into an easy stolen base.
Well, you know, this is probably over the advanced reports with A.J. having trouble with the running game last year. They probably came into this game saying, let's try to exploit it. We're running more, and early on through 3 innings, it looks like they're doing it.
And you think, you know, 2 outs, you get an out here, it doesn't cost, but it does sometimes affect the way you pitch, because you got to watch that pitch right there.
That's it right there, and it puts a lot of pressure on Russell Martin, and you can't say enough about that play. I mean, if we get another look at this, how much ground he covers where he starts, reads the baseball down in the dirt, and like I said before, glove starts and the body follows. I mean, that's just covering a lot of ground to save a run.
That one is driven to left field and deep. Going back, Gardner still back. He's got room, though, and he'll put it away for the final out of the third. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 3-2 Yanks. Express, enjoy the journey. One more game here on this homestand tomorrow at 105. Of course, we're going to have it on Yes, and everything starts at what time does it start? 12:30 or 12. It starts at noon with the BP show, of course, and then the Yankees hit the road 4 in Detroit and 3 in Texas, and every single one of those games is going to be broadcast on Yes. Everyone. A lot of stuff to do.
Very unusual. This early in the year, you'll get a string of 15, 16 days without a day off, because, you know, early in the year you get a lot of rainouts and they schedule days off just in case. And the Yankees are in a stretch where they're playing a lot of games.
Lincoln scoreboard 3-2 Yankees lead. Right now the Yankees are in the middle of 16 in a row. Then there's a day off, and then they play another 16 in a row. So 32 in 33 days as Robinson Cano lines a single to right field to open the third.
I guess if you're John Farrell, you're just happy there aren't any runners on base and the ball didn't end up in the seats. Pretty good pitch by Drabek, down and away. Robinson Cano hooks it into right field.
You've got movement. The ball's going down. It's away. Ball not scalded. It would have been in the seats, but hit off the end of the bat. Good swing. It's funny. You got two good pitchers out there with good stuff, and you got better swings today than you saw all of last night.
And shadows.
Exactly.
The hitters dealing with shadows, still centering the baseball.
Strike to Swisher from Drabek. Nick Swisher is a batter that can hit anywhere in the lineup, and proof positive of that, he has batted in every spot in the lineup, and he has homered in every single one of those spots from 1 to 9.
So I'm hitting second the last couple of days. Moves down the lineup a little bit. Alex Rodriguez a day off, so the lineup a little bit different. See a little light there, goes into the shadows, turns dark, and Nick Swisher, a pretty good pitch to hit right over the top. Maybe a little early, a little cutter there.
Talk about a different mood and a different attitude. Like you said, you hit everywhere. You feel pretty confident about it yourself when you're hitting 1 through 4 or 5. All of a sudden, you start doubting yourself when you're hitting 7th, 8th, or 9th.
What was your favorite spot to hit?
Third.
Third?
Yeah, I got really used to hitting third. You start getting past 6th, you start wondering if you still belong to be out there.
What about when you hit 9th your whole career like me?
There was a reason for that.
You wonder how that felt,
You were just that reverse leadoff hitter. That's all.
That was it.
Now, when you got moved to third, though, there was some drama there because they dropped Don Mattingly out of that spot. How tough was that?
I was in Texas. I still remember the day. I was actually kind of almost embarrassed. I was hitting the ball real well, and Donnie was, he was scuffling them. He was kind of injured, and then Buck made the switch, and Mattingly couldn't have been better. He said, I don't know why it took so long. I felt good about it after that. But again, when you take over for somebody like Mattingly, you do wonder if it's time.
And you had a great affection for Mattingly.
Oh, he's one of my favorite teammates I ever played with, and again, wish him well out in Los Angeles. A lot of Yankee fans still love him. I mean, there was a whole generation of players that now you look at Derek Jeter, you think of the Yankees. There's a whole generation of players that look at Don Mattingly, and that was the Yankees.
Runner goes. Foul back.
No, Michael, I was just thinking here, it's amazing to hear you that where you hit in the lineup was a big deal to you.
Yeah, I mean, when you are in that third hole or that fourth hole, I think it shows, that manager expects you to do things. There's kind of like a little chip on your shoulder that, this is where I'm supposed to hit. I mean, it makes you feel good.
Temptation to do a little too much, maybe.
I think sometimes even going from third to fourth, it puts you in a situation like, okay, now I got to hit home runs, and I think you're right there.
Runner goes, but the ball was dropped by Molina, so Cano, who was going, gets a stolen base. So Cano adds a stolen base to his arsenal, and now he's in scoring position for Eric Chavez. Just to finish the point about Paul hitting third, 850 starts in the number 3 hole, hitting .293 lifetime there, with a .367 on base percentage. When you had that long hitting streak for the Padres, did they move you up in the lineup?
No.
Really?
I think I was hitting maybe 6th or 7th. It was probably the spot where I drove in some runs. But I was very comfortable 8 and 9, kind of hang in the weeds, do my catching, work with the pitcher.
Comfortable. You're living in San Diego. It's 72 and sunny every day. Huh? What do you think, Mike?
I like it in New York.
Yeah.
That one's lined into left field. It is a base hit. Cano's going to round third. He'll score easily. It's an RBI single for Chavez, and the Yankees lead 4-2.
Now, Eric Yordan Chavez has had his years with injuries, but I tell you, he can still play this game. You see his big leg kick, but you see his ability to stay back, let that ball come all the way deep, still wants to pull the ball, but will still take the ball to left field. There's a guy that, I mean, how do you, coming from Oakland, he was a dead pull hitter, that big leg kick. I mean, remember how you got him out?
Well, it was a mistake if it hit the ball the other way, like you're saying. But, you know, with anybody with a big leg kick, you try to tie him up inside. We used to try to tie you up inside. It was always the place to go with Eric. It just gets tougher when guys get older and they get smarter, though. It's tough to pitch the patterns. They cover their weaknesses a little bit better.
Well, the biggest weakness that Chavez has had the last couple of years is just staying healthy. And he joined the Yankees knowing that he would be a part-time player and thought maybe this is the way I can stay healthy. Decided he did not like that call by Wally Bell, having a little conversation. And now the dugout's giving it to Wally Bell.
Now listen. Good pitch.
It still irritates me. I mean, if you're the umpire, look at what do you got to be listening in the dugout for? Might be some fan in the front row for all you know. I mean, that ball's away. It's just borderline up and away. That's just the way it is. You missed the pitch. Why blame it on the manager? He's frustrated for his player.
Count 2-2. I'm going to put you on the spot, Paul, as that one kicks away from Molina. And this is a totally serious question. Do you think that a player could say anything they want to an umpire and shouldn't get thrown out?
No. I mean, there's definitely rules and regulations that you stay away from. But I don't think every time in the heat of the moment you open your mouth that the umpire should be able to get right back in your face, because you have emotion as a player, or I don't think an umpire has the same kind of emotion. And sometimes you do things without thinking or screaming and yelling. And you know, an umpire is supposed to be to hold court out there, not to aggravate the situation.
So a walk by Posada. Well, they have been unhappy with Bell for most of this game. They've been barking from the dugout, and then Bell finally had enough and headed toward the dugout. Now, Paul, they're going to show. This is Bolin. This is Bill Bolin, our producer, has to show the stuff.
There we go.
That's just wrong.
Can we just cut the tape? You know,
get rid of it, like
here,
erase it.
Michael, you wanted to draw lines earlier. Let's get rid of this stuff.
4-2 Yankees lead, first and second, and Russell Martin fouls it off.
Flash, I know you agree with me here, but I mean, an at-bat means much more to a player than it does to an umpire.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
And
sure.
so for the emotion of the player to be held against him, I don't agree with that part of it. But I do understand that umpires, and more so now, umpires are very good at what they do. And I don't think it's as easy as it looks, because it's very easy to hit up here too in the booth. It's very easy to call strikes and balls. But when you're down there and you've got movement and the ball's going 95 miles an hour, I think it is harder.
Count 2-1. Draybeck not having an easy time of it. With his stuff, he's kind of laboring out there. The Yankees pretty much have a pretty good game plan against him.
34 pitches in the second inning will not help, and the pitch count could be 70 now.
Foul back, straight under our booth.
You know, he's consistently at 90, 91, 92, where, you know, first inning he came out 94. So, you know, you do lose a little bit when you have those long innings, 34 pitches you talked about. So he hasn't regained his form from where he started the game, where he was throwing mid-90s.
Count 3-2.
waiting for it too, as you see Frazier getting loose in the Blue Jay bullpen. I heard they had this power curveball, like a slurve type. We haven't seen it.
Haven't seen a breaking ball. Just a lot of movement, a lot of fastballs, and a lot of cutters, where some of them haven't. Yeah. And those are the balls he's getting hit.
3-2. Bounces it, and the bases are loaded. So Bruce Walton is going to have a little bit of a conversation. So that's 4 walks for Drabek, and that matches his career high. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
That wasn't a friendly conversation right there. Bruce Walton, the pitching coach, went out there and kind of let Kyle Drabek know how he's feeling. So they're challenging some hitters. Get right after it.
One run already in. Yankees looking to build a nice lead for AJ. And the pitch to Gardner is low.
It's amazing. Look at that, 73 pitches. Bottom of the 3rd inning.
He threw 14 pitches in the 1st inning, and since then, 60 over the next 2. He still has only 1 out here in the 3rd. There's a strike.
You know, Kyle Drabek's going to be a good pitcher. I mean, he's got enough stuff to win at this level, but for any young player coming up to the big leagues, you gotta prove it to yourself that my stuff is good enough to either beat a major league team, beat the New York Yankees, and clearly early on not really trusting his stuff.
And you can see his frustration. He's just gripping the ball tighter, trying to throw it harder, and he's, you know, things aren't working for him. And you know, you take a guy like Freddie Garcia last night, who just has half the stuff, but you know, pitched around and could step back from the mound and realize what he needed on a certain pitch to get out of an inning. Just, you know, the veteran pitchers are so good at just slowing the game down and realizing what they need to get out of that inning.
2-2. 1 pitch away from forcing in a run. Gardner has 4 walks over his last 3 games. He had 4 walks total through his first 20 games. So seeing the ball better, he walked in the 2nd inning. A walk here would pick up an RBI for him and give the Yankees a 5-2 lead. And here is the payoff from Drabek. Loop to left field. That is going to dunk in for a base hit. Everybody moves up a base. Scoring is Chavez, and the Yankees lead 5-2.
Now Flash, he's going to answer my question for me. I mean, if you walk him there, you figure he's out of the game. But you throw a loop little single, still enough. And you see the frustration. You don't want to bury a young kid. I mean, it's rookie year.
He is a rookie, and he leaves with the bases loaded, trailing 5-2. And here comes Frazier from the bullpen. Acura Advance, and by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of the New York Yankees. Famous Bronx County Courthouse, adjacent to Lou Gehrig Plaza. There's the courthouse. Used to be over the right center field bleachers in the old place. This call to the bullpen by John Farrell, brought to you by AT&T. And Jason Frazier comes on.
See those flags out there on the pole. A little breeze whipping in here.
Just numbers.
Add to the sun field and center field, it becomes an outfielder's nightmare. Sun, wind, blue sky.
Those are the numbers on Kyle Drabeck. They're not pretty, and the 3 runners on base are his responsibility. So Derek, for the 3rd time, dating back to last night, coming up with the bases loaded. Last time in the 2nd, he had a sac fly. So the bases loaded, 1 out for Derek right here. He's 1 for 1. That sac fly is 6th run batted in this year. Popped up. Should be deep enough to get in a run. Bautista has a great arm. He fields. Here's the throw, and it doesn't get in a run. Posada at 3rd. Didn't want to test Bautista's arm.
That was a pretty good decision, too. Bautista has a good throwing arm from right field. Jorge was able to score on Derek's last sacrifice fly, which was to center field. This one to right field. Like you mentioned, that Davis wasn't able to get behind the ball the last sac fly. You see Bautista gets a nice running start towards home plate, and the strong throw, perfect right on the line.
He was double figures last year in an outfield assist. I mean, you talk all about his offense, which is natural with the numbers he put up. But got a couple good jumps on balls last night, couple good plays, see a good throwing arm there. Pretty much all around player.
When the Blue Jays first got him, they were just goofing around. They had him in the bullpen, and they put the radar gun on him. It wasn't even like really bringing it. He was clocked at 90 miles an hour, so he does have a great arm.
See, that's the difference between me and you, Paul, right? We're talking about his throwing arm. He drops a story about a bullpen, radar gun.
He's got a ball.
Yeah.
There's a strike to Granderson.
Where do you get that stuff?
I think the story I read in the Times today by Tyler Kaplan. You know, it's not that difficult to pick up a paper, guys. You would have that same info.
Now, how many kids do you have at home?
Last time I checked, none.
Okay. Well, that explains it. It's not as easy to pick up a paper when you got 3 of them running around every morning.
Just pick up your coffee and a couple papers and just relax.
A couple hours to read, break it down. No, it doesn't work that way. Flowery
usually
house.
flipping pancakes and screaming in there to pick up his own plate. Something.
Lacrosse, soccer,
yeah, you were in a lacrosse
baseball.
game today, right?
I did it all before I came.
Logan's a pretty good lacrosse player, huh?
Logan had a big day today. A couple of goals. Lawrencetown Bulldogs pulled out a 3-2 victory. Lacrosse.
That one is drilled to right field. Backing up Bautista. He has room, and he puts it away for the final out. So Frazier comes on and gets the final 2 Yankees of the inning. But the Yankees get 2 more runs. They strand 3, and we will go to the 4th. Lifeline quiz. Juan Rivera is one of 5 players from the 2003 Yankees World Series roster who has played for other teams this season. Who are the other 4? We'll find that out at the bottom of the 4th inning. So 5 players from that 2003 team. Now, does that count Flaherty because he's playing for the Yes team now?
The name is John Flaherty, not Flaherty. Come on. How many times do I say
Curry always calls you Flaherty, so I kind of got caught up in it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I should know the answer to that.
Hey, I want to take this time, and I'm sure you guys will echo these sentiments. Bill Gallo, the long time, I mean, he's a legend in the business. He's a little bit under the weather fighting pneumonia, and I know he's a huge Yankee fan, probably watching the game. And the time that I spent in the newspaper industry, he's probably the classiest person I've ever come across, a legend with the New York Daily News, World War II veteran. I mean, everything that you could say good about a man, you could say about Bill Gallo. So we send out our best wishes, and Bill, get back to drawing real quick because it's just, he's an amazing guy. You pick out the Daily News, it doesn't seem right without a Bill Gallo cartoon. The 2-1 popped up. Moving over is Chavez. Cooper still looking for his first big league hit.
He talked about his numbers down in Las Vegas. I mean, he probably hadn't gone this long without a hit or a home run here so far. So a couple days without a hit, something new to him this year.
So you guys didn't have the pressure now that Mr. Cooper has, because you got hit in your first major league at bat, so you didn't have that pressure of waiting and waiting.
I'll tell you what, it does build on you. There's no doubt about it. It's funny. It either comes immediately or it's like the guy's tortured, but it has nothing to do with, you know, the way you're going to end your career. There's been many players that come out here, go for 20 and end up being Hall of Famers. That's just the way this game is. Encarnacion, he's still looking for his first home run. We talked about Swisher the other night. What a relief it is to get your first one, especially when it's May tomorrow. So probably on his mind. You've seen a couple swings that look like he's trying to line one to right.
Been an interesting afternoon for AJ so far. I mean, his stuff is pretty good. Michael's mentioned that, but we haven't seen a whole lot of changeups, which we've seen a lot from AJ early on in this season. 33 strikes, 22 balls, pitch count pretty good shape, 55.
Look at what he's gone through. He's been through long innings too. You know, going on the Yankee bench with Drabek struggling, 15, 18 minutes at a time before throwing another pitch.
Popped up a little deeper than I thought as Granderson going back. He puts it away. Paul, you mentioned that the wind was blowing out, so maybe that had a little effect there. Well, during this Yankee homestand, we want to remind you there are ways to save money and conserve energy in your home. You can save up to $700 on your energy bills and make your home safer and cooler this summer. To learn more, go to getenergysmart.org. Jose Molina will always go down in Yankee history. He hit the last home run at the old Yankee Stadium. But no home run here at the new one as he pops that one up to right center, and Granderson puts it away, and a nice easy 1-2-3 inning for A.J. Burnett. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th, 5-2 Yanks. quiz. Juan Rivera is one of 5 players from the 2003 Yankees World Series roster who has played for other teams this season. Who are the other 4?
Molina has to be one, right?
No, he wasn't on that team.
Oh, he wasn't on?
John Flaherty was. Jose Contreras, Jason Giambi, Hideki Matsui, and Alfonso Soriano. Agnes Roach of the Yes Network and her husband Phil enjoying the game.
Saw a highlight the other night with Hideki Matsui in the Oakland uniform. Talk about looking a little strange. How's he doing, Michael? I didn't even know.
You know, Oakland doesn't score runs. That's their issue. They've got pretty good starting pitching. That's why they brought him in there. But I don't think anybody in that lineup's really tearing it up.
Well, we got a little zone coverage too over here on the right side. Teixeira up, second baseman out there in short right center. Second baseman, right fielder, we got it all covered over there. If you could just aim that ball, there's plenty of room on the left side. But as a hitter, you know, you do what comes natural. For Tex from the left side is pulling the baseball.
Reminds me of Adrian Gonzalez, right, in Boston, laid down a bunt.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, how many questions did we answer up here, Michael, when Giambi used to walk to the plate? Bunt, bunt, bunt.
Flags over the grandstand blowing every which way. It's hard to get a read. The ones over the left field grandstand seem as if they're blowing out, and then the ones over the right field grandstand seems as if they're blowing in.
I haven't asked anybody about if there was a true indicator in the ballpark. I remember in the old stadium it was the bat handle.
The weather vane.
Above the flagpole that you could always kind of tell which way the wind was blowing.
2-2. I think it was the aforementioned Don Mattingly who came up with that the way the bat handle was pointed was the way the wind was blowing.
Cap said it, I believe, whether it was true or not. It seemed to work.
Missed outside, so Teixeira works a walk against Frazier. Why don't we check out the Delta League leaders? And this is the home run category that we'll be taking a look at. Bautista on top with 9. Then Cano with 8. Granderson, Zobrist, and Beltre with 7. And Cano's coming up. Had 2 home runs yesterday. He doesn't want April to end.
Zobrist kind of bouncing back after a couple tough years down there in Tampa Bay.
Teixeira, small lead off first. Little makeshift action there, putting up towels so they don't get blinded by the sun. Out in the Yankee bullpen.
The stories you could tell from the bullpen.
Tell us something, John.
Mariano's got a book out, Tales from the Bullpen.
I don't think he wrote it.
No,
I think somebody wrote it. Yeah,
I thought he was on the cover.
He is on the cover.
Yeah. It's a whole different life out there, isn't it, Flash? A lot of if you're not part of the bullpen, you don't understand what goes on out there.
No, you don't understand the conversations, especially early in the game when the relievers pretty much have an idea they're not
relaxed.
Yeah, they have no chance of getting in the game.
I mean, do you talk about the world's problems, or is it all about baseball?
Oh, it's definitely not all about baseball. It's probably the last thing you talk about is baseball. Roman Rodriguez, bullpen catcher, taking a sip of water, sunglasses.
That's Pendleton just chilling.
Start to get to the middle of the ball game, maybe when the pitch count starts getting up there, and then you see some stirring around, guys figuring out they might be called next. Mike Harkey.
Tell you one thing, when that phone rings, you see a lot of people jumping out there. Huh?
You know what you do see when that phone rings? Different pitchers react different ways. You know, some guys are high stress, high intensity, and you see they start getting nervous or anxious. Other guys is kind of like, I guess it's my turn. I'll go out there and pitch. All different characters.
Strike three, Cano down looking. So Cano's 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts today.
You know, Flash, if you look at it, you've got a team and a close-knit team. But inside that team, there are certain groups. You've got the everyday players, you've got the pitchers, and then you've got the bullpen pitchers that are kind of in their own zone. So you're, you know, and a lot of times, I mean, there'd be days where you didn't even say hello to the starting pitcher. You didn't even see him. But you know, it's funny how it comes about. People get their work in different ways, different times.
You know, there's a pride factor about the guys in the pen, though. Their own little group, like you said, and they take pride in going out there and doing a good job. And also the extra guys on the bench, you know, where you guys would stretch on your own, the lineup would stretch on their own. The extra guys would get there earlier, get their work done. The only time you're all really together is when you get on a charter flight, right? Head out of town and go to a different city.
Count 1-1.
Fraser's come in throwing the ball pretty well. You see, kind of cuffs that ball, and it's got to be kind of tricky to pick up as a hitter. A lot of guys walking away from that batter's box after called strikes.
Teixeira leads off first. Frazier's not pitching like anybody who has his car double parked. He is really taking his time. He has never pitched that great against the Yankees. 5.55 ERA and 44 career appearances against the Bombers.
What irritates you today, Mike? We just saw your wife on the big screen. I'm sure you've got huge plans for tonight. Nothing that a 2.5-hour game wouldn't help, right?
You know what? We'll still have those plans.
She'll wait. She'll wait for
I'll
you.
wait for her too. This could be 2. There's 1. And there's 2. A 4-6-3 double play up the bat of Nick Swisher. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Let's go to the 5th. 5-2 Yanks. So we go to the 5th inning. Some news and notes from around Major League Baseball. Nancy told you about Halladay. Now Sandoval, who the big panda, actually lost like 50 pounds. And now he's out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken right wrist. So a big blow for the Giants. And Ryan Zimmerman out 6 weeks with a torn abdominal muscle. That one is hit deep to left field. Going back, Gardner looking up. See ya. A long home run off the bat of Mike McCoy. And the Yankees lead now 5-3. He has to have a good arm to throw it from there, because that was a long poke by Mike McCoy.
Well, first home run of the year for Mike McCoy. Really the first fastball we have seen from A.J. that comes right back to the middle of the plate. And a nice job keeping it away from the right-handed batters. And first career home run for Mike McCoy. No doubt about this one. Deep in the stands in left field. Nice grab.
A bunt. It is a beauty. It's going to be a base hit for Rajai Davis.
So you see that last home run. Anytime you see that State Farm sign in the highlights, they got it pretty good. But again, Davis, he scares me. When he gets on base, you see a big inning coming. And that right after a home run, before you even sit back, McCoy's swing right there. And I got to believe that the wind is opposite of the flags. Does that ball really carry? It's kind of the way the old stadium was.
First career home run for Mike McCoy. And it was an impressive one. It was not a wall scraper. So that's what's great about baseball. Guy hits it a ton, then the next guy hits it 5 feet. He's on first base. Here's Yunel Escobar. Pitches high.
You know, this is really where we need to bear down on A.J., though. In the past, we've seen innings like this where a home run, now a bunt base hit, and all of a sudden things get away from him. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, looking on. You still have a 2-run lead. You're throwing the ball well. Settle down. Try to get yourself through this 5th inning, and Davis being on first base isn't going to help that. He's going to be a distraction.
Kia scoreboard 5-3, Yankees lead.
Tell me something here, Flash. Does a pitch out really help you? We saw it yesterday with a guy with this type of speed. He ended up beating the play anyway.
Got him.
Beautiful pickoff, and it gets Davis leading. That is a big pickoff for A.J. Burnett.
Yeah, it just gives him one less thing to worry about now. And you see Davis tries to get a good jump, gets caught. Accurate throw from A.J., good tag.
Time for the GE Capital Partner Play. Great partnerships are built on trust. At GE Capital, we prove that every day. The partnership of A.J. to Teixeira. You have to have quick feet. There's a strike to Escobar.
Paul, to answer your question about the pitch out, I always thought it was tougher to get out for a pitch out, receive it, and then gather yourself and make an accurate throw to second base. Almost rather just a fastball away, you know, regular fastball away, and then take your chances throwing a runner out.
It seemed like it was much better rhythm for a catcher on that fastball. That the pitch out, it's like the pitcher changes his delivery. Yeah. The catcher's moving. I agree with you. Especially, I mean, obviously to get an average runner is going to help, but those guys with speed doesn't always help.
Yunel Escobar for the second out as Cano makes the play.
Well, nice rebound for A.J. Leadoff home run in the 5th. The bunt base hit, pick off, and a nice weak ground ball. 2 outs. Obviously a long way to go this year for A.J. Burnett, but it seems like there's a calmness about him this year that there wasn't there last year. I know he got off to a great start in April. See if he can keep it going all year.
Pitch to Bautista.
Well, we can say this because he's out on the mound and he's not in the locker room listening to it, but he's the most important pitcher in this rotation. I mean, there's no doubt about it. A lot depends on what he does with Hughes going down. I mean, CC Sabathia is what he is. He's an ace on any team. And Burnett could be that number 2 guy to throw up 15, 18 wins again. And if he does, the Yankees are going to be fine. If he struggles, it's going to put more pressure on everybody else. But, you know, he's a veteran pitcher that's done it before. So, you know, I'm not afraid to say that, you know, he has to have a big year for the Yankees to be successful.
Sean Camp pitched yesterday. Loosening up. 2-1. Rounded sharply to Jeter. So a nice bounce back by A.J. Burnett, and that'll do it. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left at the end of 4.5. We're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. Jays 5-3. That was the score of yesterday's game. Final score, the Blue Jays beat the Yankees. Yankees trying to turn that around as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. A lot of foam fingers, and they're literal today. The Yankees are in first place in the American League East, off to a good start at 14-9. And they see themselves on TV. There's a strike. Sean Camp is the new Blue Jay pitcher. Grounded, a worm burner to McCoy. 1 away.
Games like this, Flash, it drove you crazy as a hitter. I mean, every time you go up to the plate, there's a different pitcher out there. It's like you've got no rhythm. He hadn't set you up for anything from the time before.
Which does mean you knocked out the other guy.
I was going to say, it usually means you've got the lead, though, but it's kind of weird as a hitter to have a new game plan every time you go up there.
Here's Posada. Posada, a .302 lifetime hitter against Toronto. Off to a bad start, 129 for him. He's 0 for 1 today. He's 1 for his last 26, and that has to start really wearing on him, and they really are attacking him. And Jack Curry said this earlier. He talked to Kevin Long. They're attacking him with breaking balls. And he's kind of caught between.
Looked like a changeup there and a fastball count. Way out in front, pulled off a little bit early. Guys, I can't imagine being a major league catcher as long as Jorge has. And now trying to make this adjustment where your whole day revolves around 3 or 4 at bats. And if they're not good ones, it's a long night, a long day the next day.
You really have nothing to hang your hat on because you're used to doing so many things on the field, and it gives your mind a rest, even if you're having a bad day at the plate when you're catching Flash. I mean, there's so many other things to take your mind off of it. I mean, you do nothing now when you're DH, and if you're not swinging the bat well, you have to go back and think about it.
I know Kevin Long, I mean, he's got to work on the swing, and we talked earlier about backing the baseball up in the strike zone. I'm sure he's got to do more work in Jorge's mind than anything else, trying to keep him mentally fresh.
Slow roller toward third. Encarnacion.
That's another thing about Jorge. I mean, his hits have to be clean hits. I mean, he doesn't get the little rollovers. You know, you see Jeep, where did he get his 9th infield hit last night? I mean, Jorge, he needs to hit the outfield grass for himself to get a hit.
Here's Russell Martin. And a strike. Martin today, RBI single and a walk. Count 0-2. Now, the Blue Jay bullpen's job is hold the Yankees right here and see if their offense could come back. Kyle Drabek knocked out in the 3rd inning. Jason Frazier came on, did a good job. Then he pitched a scoreless 4th, and now Sean Kemp. That one's popped up. McCoy makes the play in the shadows for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. We have played 5 here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Yankees 5 and the Blue Jays 3 on yes. Toyota text poll. Once again, the question, which position produces the best managers? You've been texting us at 58772, and let's see how you voted. An overwhelming 77%.
Those poor outfielders.
I can't believe the outfield is only 7%.
But it's actually better than pitchers. Those are the active managers that were catchers.
I didn't realize Joe Madden was a catcher.
In the minors, Jim Leland, Freddie Gonzalez, all minor league catchers. Adam Lynn lost one to left field. Brett Gardner plays it on a hop, so Lynn with a single. I want to send out best wishes to one of our tape guys in the truck, David Zarkauer. Had to leave the game yesterday, wasn't feeling great. There's a lot of concerns, but it turned out to be gallstones, which is no fun thing. But we wish him a speedy recovery and hope he gets back soon. Here's Juan Rivera. He's 1 for 2. Count 1-0.
Michael, I have a question for you because I know you're going to know the answer to this question.
Love to be put on the spot.
We talked about that 2003 World Series team, right? And a couple other players who are still in the major leagues.
Right.
Is Jeff Weaver still an active Major League player?
I don't think he is.
Okay.
His brother's been very active. Last time I looked, 6-0, 0.99 for Jared.
I know Jeff last year pitched, right? I think for the Dodgers.
We just looked it up. He's out.
Nick Johnson?
You know, I don't know if Nick got picked up anywhere.
Cleveland, maybe?
Is he in the bigs in Cleveland? He was sent down? Nick had an injury-plagued year last year with the Yankees.
Just throwing some things out there at you.
It's like a book of knowledge up here, though. I always ask him questions. It's just he keeps giving me answers. I don't even know if they're real or not, but he gives me answers.
I like to just give you advice on anything in life. It doesn't have to be on sports.
It's been a long time you've been giving me advice, too.
That's helped, too. Look how you turned out. Nick Johnson has not played a big league game this year.
See how he does that?
Yeah.
How quick it comes to him.
The thing is, though, he's got an army behind him. He's got guys throwing note cards at him in his ear, everything.
That one is lined to center field. Going back is Granderson. It's over his head and up against the wall. Lind will go to third. Rivera will go to second. It's a double, and the Blue Jays are set up.
And that ball there was hit hard, but you see the routes that the center fielders are taking today. It just must be a tough center field sun today.
All right, Rothschild will get that bullpen scattering out there. Now there's some movement. So all that peace and quiet now disrupted by that double. Nobody's picking up for Larry.
Mike Harkey's on his way. There he is.
There you go.
A strange game, though. I mean, Kyle Drabek really struggled. It felt like the Yankees almost had a bigger lead than they actually do. Two-run game, second and third, nobody out. David Robertson looks like he's going to get loose.
David Cooper lofts one to left field. Let's see if it's deep enough to score a run. There's the catch. Tagging is Lind. Here's the throw. Not in time. A sac fly for the rookie David Cooper. Now the Yankee lead is down 5-4. So Cooper picks up his first big league RBI.
Ryan Butterfield, the third base coach. Aggressive call right there. Brett Gardner's throw had enough on it, just a little bit offline. Adam Lind, not a burner, was able to score.
Oh, I can't even look at Butter without laughing. There's just something about him.
I put the pressure on him today. I said, don't make a bad call down there. O'Neill's going to be all over you.
There's the Cooper family. They made the trip from Sacramento when they heard that David had been called up. Mom, sister, and girlfriend. Now, of those three, Paul, because you say you always ask me questions. Of those three, who's the most nervous? Mom, sister, or girlfriend?
I would say mom. Yeah.
I'd say sister doesn't really care.
No, sister's
Girlfriend's got a lot invested.
Yeah. Girlfriend's just hoping he has a great career. And a future engagement ring. That's what the girlfriend's worried about. Doesn't really care about this series. It's the overall picture.
Yeah, it's a cumulative, yeah. That RBI, that's another carrot. Here's the 0-2. 1 and 2. So we agree it's mom.
I think it's mom.
AJ takes a deep breath, trying to hold this Yankee lead. It's 5-4 now. Blue Jays have actually out-hit the Yankees 9-7, but the Yankees lead. Trying to keep Rivera close. A 1-2. Grounded foul. Yankees 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Much better than yesterday when they were 0 for 8. Blue Jays 0 for 4 today, but they do have 2 sac flies.
A.J. Burnett, that's as long as I think I've ever seen him hold a runner. Early in the game, the Blue Jays, everybody was taking off from second base, with 1 out. Can't let that guy steal. Puts you in a sacrifice fly position. A lot of pitchers just don't want to worry about runners, but it always surprised me how the great pitchers were good at everything.
Runner goes, throw to third, got him. Great throw by Russell Martin.
Strike him out, throw him out.
Edwin Encarnacion goes down looking, obviously, and John Farrell did not like that call, so that will do it. Called that strike 3, and then Martin with the great throw and a good tag by Chavez. It's 5-4 Yanks. As the Yankees close out the series with the Blue Jays in the Bronx, complete coverage starts at noon with an Audi batting practice today, followed by the Tri-State Ford pregame. And Paul, John, Ringo, and I are back with all the action. It all starts tomorrow at noon, only on Yes.
I get to play drums too. You singing?
Yes. I'll sing a little. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Flash, can you background sing? A little bass guitar?
I know my strengths, and that's not one.
You're on your own then, Michael.
5-4 Yankees lead, bottom of the 6th inning. Gardner is 1 for 1 with a walk, and the one was an RBI single. Yankees have left 6 runners on base. Sean Camp, the third pitcher used by John Farrell. Strike. Gardner has now reached base in 8 of his last 10 plate appearances.
Gardner was struggling, about a week ago? It's hard to imagine a guy who runs like this getting in a slump for very long.
Strike 3. Down looking.
Those are the bats that you just walk back in. I didn't even give myself a chance. I took 3 strikes. I didn't even swing. And sometimes, that ball fooled him. The ball was borderline up and away, but a lot of times as a hitter, you want to be too perfect. You go up, you see a pitch, you strike 1, strike 2. Before you know it, you're walking back to the dugout. And you shouldn't even have taken your bat out there.
Mark Zepchinski, The lone left-hander in the Blue Jay bullpen.
I'm going to leave that name for you, Michael. Huh? That's a good Scrabble name. I know that.
Big plans tonight, Paul?
No, tonight. Frank and Mary.
Frank and Mary.
Frank and Mary. It's like the break-in weekend. Huh?
We got to get Frank and Mary on center stage because I think they've got stories to tell.
I'll tell you one thing. If you got Frank on there, you better double up the hour because he's got a lot to tell you.
Now, I know the Flaherty clan is actually at the ballpark, so that pretty much precludes. There they are.
Wow, what is that?
That's a Where's Waldo convention, I guess. That, of course, is not John Flaherty's family.
Relatives, but not family.
The 0-2. I'm just curious because the three kids are here, John. Will they eat so much at the stadium that it will render dinner useless?
Yeah, they'll be taken care of. By the time we get in the car on the way back, his job is getting loose. My wife and I will talk about dinner. They don't need to be involved.
We can talk about this because they're here and they can't listen. I mean, this is kind of a game plan for you today. Feed the kids at the ballpark. And then, you know, you and your wife can take care of yourself later.
Well, like I said, we had a busy morning. A soccer game, 2 lacrosse games, a baseball game, all before noon.
Wow.
Then they come down, enjoy the ball game for a few hours. Kids will eat for 3.5 or 4 hours. We're on pace for that today. Wife and I will grab a nice meal.
5-4 Yankees lead. 0-2 on Jeter. He swings and misses. 2 strikeouts for Sean Kemp. Jeter's now 0 for 3 today.
Kemp, usually a guy who's tough on righties, has a tough time with lefties. Struck out Brett Gardner with a backdoor slider.
Yeah, he's figuring that's enough.
Yeah.
That good a pitch. You only get 2 outs. There we go.
Tries to play it off.
Here's Curtis Granderson. Curtis with an RBI single. He's 1 for 3 today. Struck out, single to center, and then flied out to right. Bottom of the 6th, 5-4 Yankees lead. And there's a strike from Kemp.
Toronto's got some guys they can file out of that bullpen that can get some outs. Ends up with Rush at the end of the game. Big 6'10" guy we saw last night, closer. So if they get their starting rotation and their offense around it, it's amazing that we talked about it last night how hard it is to make noise in the American League East, but they're a pretty solid team.
They like their first 3 starters. They really like their bullpen. The offense is a work in progress. No more Vernon Wells. A couple of years ago, Alex Rios was picked up off waivers. Lyle Overbay gone. So it's a completely different look for the new manager, John Farrell. He's trying to be aggressive, make things happen. The 2-1. Strike.
You ever picture yourself as a manager, flashing the things you would do? I would steal bases like Farrell. I love to see guys in motion. I think it puts pressure on the defense. Guys are moving, get you extra hits. Joe Girardi, on the other hand, has disciplined hitters who draw counts and drive in runs.
Long run for Encarnacion. He can't make the play. And it was too long a run for Rivera out left. So it falls untouched. No play it scored.
Covering a lot of ground, looking to find where the fence is, and then all of a sudden maybe that wind factor there, Paul, bringing the ball back a little bit towards the playing field.
Looks like he had a beat on it. In his last 2 steps, he kind of went at a 90-degree angle, which tells you that all of a sudden the ball did move at the end.
The 2-2. Just missed outside with the breaking ball.
This game is showing you the importance of a good bullpen, and obviously every team wants to have a good bullpen, but Drabek struggled. Now all of a sudden this game has settled down with some of the relievers coming out of the pen for the Blue Jays.
Swing and a miss. It gets away from Molina. No, they say it's a foul ball.
All right,
Gardner
Paul,
tried to buy it and go to first.
Here's
or
the
should
question.
I say Granderson?
If Granderson swings and misses and does not think he fouls it off, which it doesn't look like he did, he jumps running out of the box thinking he's got to get to first base. I think Wally Bell missed one there.
Why didn't Granderson argue that then?
Why would he argue?
Why would he argue?
3.
But he would have been at first base.
No, the ball was right there with Molina. Molina should have been the one. Did it go to the backstop?
Yeah, it kicked away. High fly ball, right center field. Bautista will make the play, shading his eyes from the sun. And that will do it as Campos had 6 up and 6 down. We go to the 7th. 5-4 Yanks. Business associates out to Yankee Stadium for a group outing and a game day suite. Game day suites can accommodate groups between 12 and 382 guests with all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. Mark your special occasion and make it legendary. Operators are standing by right now at 212-YANKEES, or you can email suites@yankees.com or log on to yankees.com/suites. Well, the Yankees go to the bullpen, and this is the formula. They have a lead, and in the 7th inning, they're going to go to Jabba Chamberlain. And those are Jabba's numbers so far. A strikeout per inning, 9 hits, 3 walks, so a whip of 1, which is very good. ERA of 4.50, and he has 5 holds. So Jabba on a relief of A.J. Burnett, who gave the Yankees 6 innings, and on the Cadillac scoreboard, those 6 innings have the Yankees up 5-4.
The infamous whip, Michael, when did that come about? 2 years ago, 3 years ago? How long has it been around?
The hold?
No, the whip.
Oh, the whip? It's kind of it's been a fantasy stat for longer that sabermetricians look at it because they think the 1 is really the key number. I'd say 5 years.
5 years? Because I was going to say, I've never. Flash, did you ever hear of a whip?
Never. Never.
Now, whip, by the way, is walks and hits per innings pitched. And that one is lined by Molina right to Gardner. And anything around 1 is outstanding.
So Jabba in last night's ball game getting an inning of work. Actually did a nice job throwing a slider for a strike. Velocity in the mid-90s.
Now, what do you make of this, John? A.J. only threw 82 pitches. Did they just think he was running out of effectiveness?
I think it was a hard 80. How many was it?
82.
82. I think he had to work a lot in this ball game. I mean, he gave up 9 hits, 4 runs. What, he strike out 3? I don't think he walked a batter. So, I mean, it was...
His last outing, he threw, what, 8?
8 innings.
A lot of pitches. And today, to me, he had a lot of long breaks, 15, 20-minute innings. And, I thought he threw the ball well. I was surprised that he gave up the runs that he did. He put himself in some positions, but I think he threw the ball better.
Backhanded by Chavez. He can still do it at third base. 6-time Gold Glove winner, showing it off right there to retire McCoy.
probably going to get another look at this, but it looked like it hit the lip of the grass and the dirt and stays down. No, maybe a little bit further than that. Still a nice backhand, strong throw across the diamond.
Back to the top of the lineup, and Davis. And he grounds one to short. Good job by Chamberlain. Easy 1-2-3 as the Blue Jays go down in order. At the end of 6.5 on a 6-pitch inning by Jabba. It's time for the 7th inning stretch, but we'll stay right here with the Yankees leading 5-4 to honor. Along with Jack on the postgame show, the Cadillac scoreboard, bottom of the 7th inning. Yankees are leading the Blue Jays 5-4. Impressive. Top of the 7th by Jabba. 1-2-3 inning and 6 pitches. He looked good.
Well, I mentioned last night, throwing the slider for a strike. He got a couple of easy ground balls on the slider this afternoon. Impressive inning.
Well, Mark Teixeira will spin around to the right side against Zipchinski. And there's a strike.
Four hits and 11 2/3.
Grounded sharply to Encarnacion. And there's one away. Tomorrow's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. Get the ultimate in entertainment on the Ultimate Network. Fios, a network ahead. Jesse Litch will go for the Blue Jays. He's 2-1, 3.86. Ivan Nova 1-2, 5.82. Everything's going to start at noon with the BP show. 12:30 is the pregame. And then right around 107, 108, the first pitch of the final game of this 3-game set. Ivan Nova coming off a strong start against the Chicago White Sox. Here's Robinson Cano against the lefty. Squibbed down to third. It was kicking back toward fair territory, but Encarnacion grabbed it. That was a pool cue.
One of those swings you take as a left-handed hitter. Everything bails out. You don't even know where the ball went. You don't know whether it run, where it went, where the heck it went. Open up, it's out in front of you.
We've seen runners not run on that, then get embarrassed when it rolls back fair. But Cano did go.
All right, Michael. Cano's got 12 career at-bats against this lefty.
Right.
How many hits he got?
I'd say 4.
All right, 3. How many home runs?
I'd say 1.
Oh, right on the nose. Just out of nowhere, too. 3 for 12, the home run career.
And the pitch. Got him. That sounded bad from up here. So he's going to take first base.
It looks like it got him in the back elbow.
Didn't get him on the elbow. He got him on the forearm.
Yeah. You mentioned last night, Paul, that lefty who can throw the fastball inside obviously gets away from Zepchinski a little bit. Sure, that doesn't feel good right now. Probably not going to feel a whole lot better tomorrow.
Here's Nick Swisher with a runner on first. Nick is 1 for 3. Against the Yankees, Zepchinski 1-2 in 6 games. A very bloated 8.72 ERA. 5 of those 6 games were starts. Now working out of the bullpen. And Rafael Soriano getting ready for the 8th inning. The 1-0. Popped up. Shallow right. Oh, what a play by McCoy. And he's going to double up Cano to end the inning. Outstanding play by McCoy. Bautista didn't have a chance at it. McCoy an over-the-shoulder grab and a slide, and he gets up and fires to first for the inning-ending double play. MVP player of the game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Eric Chavez, Number 2, Mike McCoy, made a very good play to end the bottom of the 7th. Number 3, A.J. Burnett. Number 4, Russell Martin. You can vote now, make your voice heard, and standard text messaging rates certainly apply. So let's see how Rafael Soriano bounces back after a rough last outing. Soriano still adapting to his 8th inning role. And he will face 2, 3, and 4 in the Blue Jay order. This is what Soriano's done so far this year in 11 games, 7.84. 10 1/3, 12 hits, 8 walks, and 7 strikeouts.
I think you want to look with Soriano is his location. I mean, it's got nothing to do with velocity. A lot of balls down the middle of the plate.
Tough hop, and Chavez stays with it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Chavez can play offensively, defensively. You forget how good he was in Oakland because of the injuries the past couple of years. In between hops, things like that. I mean, that's not an easy play.
You know, Paul, getting back to Soriano, though, looking at those numbers on the year, I'm amazed 8 walks already. And I was working the Minnesota series the first week of the year here at home. He could throw a ball anywhere he wanted to, right on the corners, down at the knees. Obviously, that's gotten away from him a little bit. He's had some trouble.
Now, why would Bautista try to bunt?
I don't know if he's just trying to see a pitch or what, but that ball right there, I think he got in the line of flight to the umpire because that was a good pitch.
Chavez deep and close to the line, guarding against the double. The 1-0. 2-0.
When you know it, though, a guy like Soriano has had some rough times lately. Got a 1-run game. Bautista, who is locked in, and now he's ahead in the count, 2-0.
Big cut, fouled away.
A little respect there, a little 2-0 slider. More importantly, down.
He's readjusted his neck after that swing. I mean, he gets a lot of bat speed. He's not, I mean, you would think of a guy 50-some home runs as a big hustler. He's not a huge guy, but he generates a lot of bat speed. Big swing.
There's a big swing, and the count 2-2. Bautista 1 for 3 today.
Well, something extra on this fastball after a 2-0 slider. He comes back with a fastball up in the zone a little bit, able to get it by Bautista. Not an easy thing to do lately.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Soriano deals. Popped up. Shallow left. Coming on Gardner. Still coming. 2 away. Tomorrow, don't miss a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. The skipper sits down to discuss the best plays and moments from the first month of the season. Plus, he'll answer your questions submitted on Facebook and Twitter. It's a new Joe Girardi Show tomorrow at 5 only on Yes. Crowd of 42,460 here at the stadium today. Beautiful Saturday. Here's Adam Lind. And a strike. Yankees lead the American League in average attendance, and they're second in the major leagues in average attendance behind the Phillies. And the 0-1. Line drive, a base hit. So Lind is 2 for 3 today. Keeps the inning alive against Soriano. And for Lind, these 2 hits extend his hitting streak to 6 straight. Mariano, a spectator out there. The pitch to Rivera is a strike. Soriano is looking for his first hold since April 19th. Frank Francisco warming for the Blue Jays.
Got a couple guys over on the Yankee bench that are anxiously waiting to get through this inning, get some confidence in Soriano's head. That's Larry Rothschild and Joe Girardi.
There's a strike.
Good fastball. Got a couple real good fastballs by Bautista. Kind of tied him up, which you haven't seen all series.
Looks like he's a little bit freer and easier this inning today. I mean, I know he had some back problems a little while back. Looks pretty smooth this afternoon.
Yankees lead 5-4, top of the 8th inning. Runner at first, 2 outs. 0-2 count on Juan Rivera, who's 2 for 3 today with a 9-game inning streak. And good numbers against Soriano. Stays alive by fouling it away. Soriano had that rough outing against the White Sox, and a lot of people jumped on his demeanor on the mound. I thought Joe Girardi said it best. He was like that when he saved 45 games. Why would he change? Why would he become a different person? He's very stoic on the mound. His looks do not portray much emotion. The 0-2. Nice back-handed pick by Russell Martin.
Not an easy thing to do on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball down and away when you're setting up inside. It's just all reaction.
And then to think about throwing to first base, too. Your natural reaction as a runner, you see the ball in the dirt, you get leaning the wrong way, we'd have got you.
Tell you what, you can see why Rivera has good numbers off of Soriano. I mean, a slider down, he didn't even budge right there. It looked like he saw it right out of his hand. There's some pitchers who just get a good look. You see the ball early. He picked up that slider right away.
The 2-2. Lofted to right field and deep. Swisher has room on the track. He puts it away. And Soriano keeps it at 5-4. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 5-4 Yanks. This is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World, and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. So Rafael Soriano works a scoreless 8th inning, and now Frank Francisco will come on. This will be his 5th game, 6 strikeouts and 4 1/3 to this point. As the Blue Jays try to hold it right here, and then they'll take their chance against Mariano Rivera in the 9th. So far, the Blue Jays bullpen has done a nice job. Jason Frazier, Sean Camp, and now let's see how Francisco does. Blue Jays with 10 hits, Yankees 7, but the Yankees have the lead 5-4. Trying to even this series at a game apiece. Francisco deals. Foul back.
Funny, the first 3 or 4 innings, you thought this was going to be a slugfest. All of a sudden, the bullpens have shut guys down.
You know what? I left out a pitcher, Mark Zepchinski also did a good job. Just that his name was too long to write in the scorebook.
Didn't fit.
Yeah, I just wow. He worked the scoreless 7th. And the 0-2. Missed inside. Chavez, Posada, and Martin. Here in the bottom of the 8th, the Yankees try to build on this lead. Dubbed out toward third. Kicks foul.
Wow. Did you see the movement on that pitch?
Split it?
World, I don't know. Back of sliders.
Yeah.
In slow motion, that ball moved a lot.
The 1-2. 2-2. So far today, Chavez is 1 for 2, a ribby and a walk. Hitting .310 with 9 hits. On base percentage of .429. Two. Foul back. Lights are on, but not a cloud in the sky. Shade pretty much covering the entire field. Some splashes of sunlight out in right center. That's about it. Place looks great. Grounded to short. Escobar. 1 out. Well, after the final out, don't miss the WB Basin postgame show as Nancy Newman and Jack Curry break down the big plays from this game and bring you highlights from around the league. Plus, Joe Girardi's going to give his reaction. It's all coming up on the postgame. It's only on Yes. Here is Posada, and Jorge is 0 for 2 with a run scored and a walk. 1 for his last 27.
For 27 sounds like a little confidence knock time here, Paul. Get a base hit. Start feeling good about yourself again.
I don't care if you're young or you're a veteran. You start looking into 27 at bats, it starts to wear on you.
Well, those numbers also combine for his average. He's hitting 127. Last day of April, and it gets to be May, and you're looking up there, and you're on the low interstate numbers. It starts to wear on you.
You know, and you can feel good about the 6 home runs. Obviously, I mean, 6 home runs for a month. It's very respectable, but that batting average, it just seems to jump out at you, Paul.
Which is really weird too, because usually when you're hitting 120 something, you're not doing anything.
Right.
And early on, he hit some home runs, and the two don't tie together. Usually when you're hitting home runs, you're doing other things also.
The 2-1. Lofted to left field deep. Giving chase Rivera. And when you're struggling, those get caught as Rivera hauls it in. 2 outs.
Michael, you're right. I mean, when you're struggling, it looks like there's 15 fielders out there. There's no green grass, and there's just guys with gloves everywhere. Rivera makes a good catch, but you know, it's a better swing. But again, when you're talking 27, 28 at bats, where you just haven't had anything to help your confidence, you don't want good swings. You want hits. You want things that show up in the box scores to make you feel good about helping this team.
Strike to Russell Martin. Russell 1 for 2 with a walk and RBI. Russell keeps this up, and with the injury to Joe Mauer, Russell could be playing himself onto the All-Star team. 1 month in, he's been a revelation for the Yankees. Chop slowly to short. Escobar. And that'll do it. So 1-2-3 inning for Frank Francisco. Well, now the Yankees go to their closer, Mariano Rivera. He will try to nail this one down.
Top of the 5th inning, Mike McCoy will hit his first home run of the year, and it'll also be his first career home run in the major leagues. So congratulations, Mike McCoy, your Land Rover drive of the game.
So as we go to the 9th inning, it'll be Mariano Rivera who comes in and tries to nail down the final 3 outs. And Mariano has changed back to his old way of wearing his pants, not showing the socks. He has 8 saves, 12 games, 2.31 ERA, 10 strikeouts, and 11 2/3, 10 hits, and 2 walks. For a while there, a couple of weeks, he had a lot of blue showing. And whenever he asked him about it, he goes, "Why do people care?" I said, "Because it's you."
He gets to face a rookie here without his first big league hit, too.
Now, you sure that David Cooper has seen Mariano plenty of times, probably envisioned facing him. I wonder if he thought about it bottom of the 9th inning and he's still looking for his first big league hit.
He has his game plan. I'm going to probably get some cutters inside. Maybe I'll leak a little bit early, look for it, try to pull it into right field. A lot easier when you see it on TV than when you get up there trying to do it.
There's a strike. Yankees trying to hold on to a 5-4 lead. Popped up. Cano is there, and Cooper still looking for his first hit. And that's the Cooper family watching and hoping and waving, but it doesn't get it done. Ball lands in Cano's glove. So one down. Here's Edwin Encarnacion. Pitches high. Chavez playing very close to the third base line, trying to guard against the extra base hit. Outfielders also at no doubles depth. Strike. We saw that Encarnacion 1 for 2 against Rivera, the one being a home run. That one is driven to center field. Granderson went back, now comes in, and he'll put it away for the second out. So the Blue Jays are down to their final out.
Another cutter for Mariano Rivera. Starts middle of the plate. Moves away. Encarnacion off the end of the bat a little bit. And speaking of home runs,
Yankees haven't hit a home run today, right? They've been living and dying with that this year. It'd be a nice win if Mariano can pick up the last out of the game.
And Jose Molina steps in. Swing and a miss.
It's funny how a lot of people go up and I'm going to take a pitch last inning. You know, Molina knows him. He's not going to walk him. You might as well go up and get your 3 swings in.
$42,460, most of them standing up. Molina 1 for 5 lifetime against Rivera. And he's in an 0-2 hole.
Well, there's 2 of them, Flash. Yeah. He's got 1 more.
And the 0-2. Molina stays alive. Two veterans, 60 feet 6 inches away. Game on the line. And the 0-2. Another foul ball. A.J. Burnett would get the win. Jabba Chamberlain a scoreless 7th. Soriano a scoreless 8th. And the end of the formula is Mariano here in the 9th. So far, 2/3 of the way there. The 41-year-old sets, deals. Outside.
Was there an easier guy to catch than Mariano?
no, you put the ball right where you want it to. You ask him to elevate a fastball, he would do it. Off the plate, inside.
Really only have 2 pitches. 90% of the time it's 1 pitch and cutter.
The 1-2 pitch. Molina really battling.
You feel like they have him set up for that front hip cutter now. They've been throwing away. We'll see if Mariano tries to freeze him inside. Get a called 3rd strike. And the danger with that, a 1-run game, if he cheats for it a little bit, could try to pull it into the seats.
Another foul ball.
Mariano shake off much?
No.
He basically just goes along.
Got a big smile on his face. He's enjoying this battle with Molina right here. Former catcher. Throwing him so many pitches away. You think you got plenty of room inside. We'll see if he goes to it. No, back away.
1-2. Lined into center field. It's a base hit. It's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. And Molina will chug into second with a double.
I'll tell you what, you don't see too many better at bats off Mariano Rivera than you saw right there. Molina didn't give in, didn't cheat, just looked outside. Here's another cutter. This ball was up in the zone, though. Good piece of hitting. see too many balls hit that hard on Mariano.
Corey Patterson will pinch run at second. That's the tying run. Here's McCoy. Pitch is high.
Well, McCoy has a chance to have a great day. You see Corey Patterson pinch running at his first career home run in the big leagues. Made a nice play in really short right center field, double play. And they get a chance to tie this ball game up.
The 1-0 outside, 2-0. Toronto won the first game of the series 5-3, but didn't hit really with runners in scoring position. In the series overall, the first two games 1 for 15 in these spots. The 2-0 blew it right by him. 2-1. 4-11-0 Blue Jays, 5-7-0 Yankees. Molina satisfied, big smile, his battle with a future Hall of Famer, first ballot. The 2-1. 2-2. Yankees 1 strike away. Patterson with a big lead off second. The 2-2 to McCoy. Fly ball right field. This should do it. Nick Swisher makes the play. Ball game. Put it on the left side. And the Yankees win this one 5-4. So it wasn't easy for Mariano in the ninth inning, but he gets it done. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. You have to stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game, as the Yankees and the Blue Jays have now split the first two games of this series. And that is the 9th save for Mariano, and that marks the most that Mo has ever had in the month of March/April. The season started on March 31st. So A.J. Burnett will get the win, and his April finishes 4-1. Yankees were worried or concerned, would he spin around his bad year from last year? And he's certainly done that in the first month of the season. Joe Girardi has to be happy. And offensively, a sac fly by Jeter, RBI single by Granderson, RBI by Russell Martin, RBI by Brett Gardner, and the Yankees get it done, and they win this one 5-4. One of the guys who had the RBI is Russell Martin, and our very own Jack Curry is with him in front of the Yankee dugout. Jack?
Thanks a lot, Michael. Russell, I have to start with this interview by talking about pitching. What about the 6 innings that A.J. gave you guys?
I thought he was tremendous today. Had a little bit of trouble locating his curveball, but he battled his butt off. You know, threw some fastballs down in the zone for the most part, and I think that was the key for him, locating his fastball.
And then your bullpen trio gives you 3 scoreless. Let's break them down. What about Jabba? That was a fast inning.
Jabba located his slider for a strike. That was big. Got some quick outs with that. I think he threw we're behind the count, able to throw a slider, and we contact. And then Soriano came in and did a good job for us. I thought he just did a good job of pounding the strike zone early, getting that strike one. And Mo did his thing, throwing cutters, and got the game, got the save. So that's all we got.
And now, what about Toronto's pitcher? What about the approach you guys took against Drabek? You had an early run-scoring single against him. Was some of it patience with Drabek?
Just keeping him in the zone. He's got good movement on his fastball. And I think the key for us was really just, making him throw strikes. And when we got that strike, we did some damage. So.
And then finally, in the 6th inning, that strike him out, throw him out double play. How important is that in this game?
That's big. You end the inning that way. Take away the guy in scoring position. And obviously it worked out well. A.J. made a great pitch. And they kept stealing on curveballs off him. And then we finally got them to go on a fastball. So that was the key, I think.
Thanks a lot, Russell.
Right, thank you.
Michael, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jack, and thank you to Russell as well. So Russell Martin continues his great first month as a Yankee, and April is over. Yankees with 15 wins are in first place, and the kids obviously like what they see as Mariano closes this out, and the Yankees win 5-4.